I had just finished a contract job in rural New Mexico, a short freelance gig that ended earlier than expected. With 3 free days and no reason to rush back to Denver, I decided to take the scenic route through Arizona, the kind of solo road trip that's half escape, half therapy. No GPS, just printed directions and offline maps. I thought I'd take back roads, skip the interstates, just drive and disconnect. It was late April, early spring heat still clinging to the high desert air. Around 10:45 p.m., somewhere near the Arizona-Nevada border, I realized I hadn't seen another vehicle in at least half an hour. The 2-lane highway cut through endless miles of scrub brush and low mesas, illuminated only by my headlights and the occasional flash of reflective road signs. I wasn't sleepy, just thirsty. A dry, chalky kind of thirst. When a rest area sign flickered into view, Valle de Oro stop, 2 miles. I figured I'd pull in, stretch, grab a drink if vending was working. The lot was empty. Just one long rectangular building with bathrooms in the center, split men/women, each with its own cracked concrete path. A single yellow light buzzed over the vending machines, casting long shadows across the pavement. It was too quiet. Still, I parked close to the building, engine idling for a minute while I debated whether to even go in. My bladder made the decision. I shut off the car, left my phone charging, and walked toward the men's restroom. Desert wind tugged lightly at my jacket. Inside, it was dim. No sound except the echo of my boots on the tile. 1 stall, 1 urinal, 1 sink. The air smelled like bleach and something off. Not quite decay, not quite rot, more like stale time. I went quickly, washed up, and as I turned toward the door, I heard it. A click. Very soft, very deliberate. From the stall. I hadn't seen feet under the door when I walked in, and the door had been wide open. I froze. My reflection in the grimy mirror looked paler than usual. The door was still shut now. Latched? No movement. Just that feeling, the same one you get when someone's standing behind you, breathing just out of sync. "Hey man," I said, trying to keep my voice casual. "Didn't mean to spook you. Just leaving." No response. I backed toward the door, hand on the handle. But curiosity, that morbid human flaw, got the better of me. I glanced under the stall. Feet. Bare feet. Gray-skinned, motionless. Toes curled slightly inward like they were frozen mid-step. But the part that really punched me in the gut? There were 4 feet. 2 facing the toilet, and 2 facing the stall door, like someone was standing in front of someone else. I didn't wait. I shoved the door open and nearly sprinted back to my car. The wind had picked up, or maybe it just felt colder. I fumbled the keys, yanked the door open, and locked everything the second I got inside. The vending machine light flickered again. Just before I reversed out of the lot, I looked at the restroom one last time. The door was open now. Wide open. Swinging slightly in the wind. But no one came out. I didn't stop driving for 3 more hours. It was getting late. I had been driving all day, trying to reach a small college town where my friend had just moved. As I passed through the forested hill roads, a thick fog settled in. It was so heavy that I could barely see a few feet ahead. I didn't want to risk continuing in that weather. That's when I saw a small sign on the side of the road. Hillview Inn vacancies. It looked old but peaceful. A little wooden inn tucked into the trees, with ivy growing up the walls and warm lights glowing through the fog. I pulled into the small lot and stepped inside. The moment I entered, I was hit with the scent of old wood and something that reminded me of a library. Behind the desk stood an elderly woman with a kind smile. Her name tag read Margaret. "You're lucky," she said softly. "Only 1 room left. Room 6 at the end of the hall." I thanked her and took the old-fashioned key. As I walked down the narrow hallway, the floor creaked under my feet. The walls were lined with black and white photos that looked decades old. Room 6 was small but neat. A single bed, a dresser, and a window that faced the trees. The fog outside was thick and swirling, making the view look like something out of a dream. As I set down my bag, I noticed the window wouldn't close all the way. I tried adjusting it, but the latch was missing. Cold air kept slipping through the gap. I ended up stuffing my hoodie into it to block the chill. Then I got into bed and turned off the lamp. The blanket was warm and the room was quiet. But around 2 a.m. I woke up to a sound. Creak, creak. It was coming from the hallway. I sat up, listening. The sound stopped. I figured it was just the old building settling. But then, I heard a scraping sound. Something scratching against the outside of the window. I turned slowly toward it. The fog was so thick I couldn't see anything outside, but I felt it like something was standing just beyond the glass, watching me. Then came the whisper. I used to live here. It was so close, I could feel it in my ear. I jumped out of bed and looked around the room. No one. I tried turning on the lamp. Nothing. I reached for my phone. It flickered once, then went dark. Then I heard 3 soft knocks. Not from the hallway, from inside the closet. I stared at the door. It was shut, but slowly, the knob began to turn. I held my breath. The closet creaked open. Empty. Just an old coat hanging from the rail. I grabbed the room key, ran to the door, and yanked it open. The hallway was dark and silent. I rushed down to the front desk, calling out, "Hello? Is anyone here?" But the lobby was empty. The fire in the fireplace had gone out. Everything looked wrong. Then I saw a black and white photo hanging on the wall. It showed a group of people standing in front of the inn, smiling. At the edge of the group was a girl with dark eyes, standing by a window. The caption below the photo read, "In loving memory of Clara, room 6. I felt my stomach drop. I didn't wait. I ran outside into the freezing fog, my breath coming out in clouds. I jumped into my car and started the engine. Thank God it worked. As I drove down the winding road, I glanced into the rearview mirror. There was a face in the back seat, pale, unmoving, with wide eyes. I spun around. Nothing was there. I don't know what I saw. I don't know who Clara was, but I will never, ever go back to that place. And room 6, that window still doesn't lock." I don't usually take long drives alone, but last month, I had to attend a friend's wedding in a remote mountain town. 6 hours away. Google Maps showed a shortcut that would save me about 45 minutes. It was a smaller road, passing through the forested hills. The main highway had construction delays, so I thought, why not? Big mistake. Around 3 p.m., I stopped at a small gas station, the only one I'd seen for miles. It looked like it hadn't changed since the 80s. Faded signs, rusted pumps. As I filled my tank, an old man stepped out of the station shop. He stared at my phone on the dashboard, then at me. "You talking Route 47 through the hills?" he asked. I nodded. "Yeah. Google says it's faster." He frowned. "GPS don't work right up there. Too many bends. Too many stories." "Stories?" I asked, trying to laugh it off. "Folks go in, take longer to come out. Some don't come out at all." He didn't smile, just turned and went back inside without another word. I ignored his warning. I wish I hadn't. The trees grew taller as I entered the forest road. The sunlight started to fade even though it was still afternoon. The road narrowed, just one lane, no signs, no houses. Emma, that's the name of the GPS voice, kept calmly guiding me. "In 3 kilometers, turn left," she said. I drove in silence. No birds, no breeze, just the sound of tires crunching gravel. I turned on the radio to break the quiet. Static, then faint whispers. Not words, just tones, like someone breathing near the mic. I turned it off. Then Emma said, "In 400 meters, turn left." Only, there was no left, just thick trees, and a broken wooden sign nailed to a post that read, "Road ends." I slowed down, checked my phone. No signal. Frustrated, I turned the car around and drove back the way I came. 10 minutes later, Emma spoke again. "In 400 meters, turn left." Same words, same place, same sign. I was going in circles. My hands were shaking. I hit the brakes and stared ahead. Then I glanced in the rearview mirror. Someone was standing at the edge of the woods, far behind. Still, pale. I blinked. They were gone. I didn't imagine that. I know I didn't. I tapped the GPS screen to restart it. The screen glitched, then flickered. Emma's voice returned, but this time it was wrong. Distorted. She whispered, "Don't leave, this way is safe, stay with me." I yanked the cord out. The GPS shut off, but I still heard her voice in the car. "In 200 meters, you'll be home." Then the car just stopped. Dead. No power. No lights. I looked ahead. Through the trees, I saw a faint orange glow, a light. A cabin? I got out thinking maybe someone could help. As I walked, the woods felt too quiet, like they were waiting. The cabin looked ancient. Rotten wood. No doorbell. The front door creaked open before I even touched it. Inside, dust hung in the air. Furniture covered in sheets. A broken clock on the wall ticking backward. Then, I saw a photo on the wall. It was me, standing in front of that same cabin, wearing the same clothes I had on now, smiling, but I'd never been there before. I ran, out the door, through the trees. Didn't care where, just away. Branches whipped my face. The darkness felt alive, like it was chasing me. I ran until my legs gave out. Then, nothing. I woke up on the side of a different road. Sunlight, cars passing. A truck driver stopped, said I was just standing in the middle of the highway staring. He gave me a ride to town. I told him what happened. He just shook his head. "You're not the first one," he said. "That road, it chooses people." Then he added something I'll never forget. "Next time, just take the long way." I still don't know what happened that night, but I haven't used a shortcut since. And I never will. Because sometimes, the fastest road leads straight into something you're not supposed to find. If you enjoyed this story and it gave you chills, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more spine-tingling tales, and let me know in the comments. Would you take the shortcut or stick to the long way?